You've been doing CBTI or cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia for a while, but aren't making any progress. If you have been struggling with sleep, both falling asleep or staying asleep, and you've tried or decided to give CBTI a go, but nothing seems to change, you're still stuck at square one. Trust me, it is not you that is broken, but it is a system that is badly designed. I'm Fiona. I'm a recovered chronic insomniac turned holistic sleep coach. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down what CBTI actually is, where CBTI goes wrong, and what you can do instead to actually guarantee and take recovery from insomnia into your own hands. And before we get into what CBTI actually is, I do want to empathize with you, because if you're watching this video and you've tried everything to try and fix your insomnia and you feel defeated, broken, and like nothing seems to change, it's not you. You have been given the wrong information. You have not been supported in the correct way. When I was personally struggling with insomnia, nobody around me understood what I was going through. I spoke to doctors, therapists, friends, absolutely everyone. I would consult with the internet on a day-to-day basis, and everything always pointed me in the direction of CBTI. And when I tried that, and also that didn't work, trust me, it made me feel like this was going to be my life sentence. Eventually, I started understanding the nervous system. I started educating myself on what insomnia actually is. And when I started understanding that there was a very fundamental missing component to CBTI and my understanding of insomnia altogether, that's where everything started to change. That's where I truly started taking recovery into my own hands, because I started recognizing that it wasn't other people's fault that I wasn't getting better. It was just that I had not been given the right tools and the right information in order for me to do so. And this is exactly what this channel aims to do. I aim to educate you and empower you to take insomnia recovery into your own hands, because you've been made believe that it is difficult or hard to recover from these struggles, when in reality, it gets to be a lot easier than you've been led on to be. So what is CBTI? CBTI stands for Cognitive Behavioral Therapy for Insomnia, and it teaches us that we are not sleeping, we're having difficulties falling asleep or staying asleep because we have associated our bedroom as a place of being awake. And it implies that by changing our behaviors and by trying to change our mindset towards the bedroom, we're going to achieve sleep. It implies that biology always wins, and that despite kind of like this association, if we change certain behaviors and if we implement certain routines and rules, sleep is going to come to us. And it does through a few different mechanisms, which are the following. Number one, CBTI encourages stimulus control, which is only using the bedroom as a place for sleep. It implies that you should only be going to sleep when you are sleepy or very tired. You should be getting out of bed if you are having difficulties falling asleep for more than 15 to 20 minutes. And you should also limit and not do anything else except for sleep in your bedroom. Number two, it also encourages sleep restriction. This means that you are restricting your time in bed every single night in order to maximize that amount of time that you are actually sleeping. As time goes on and your sleep drive is regulated and you're sleeping more and more times, which is also implying a sleep log, you are monitoring your sleep, you are taking down kind of, I guess, data of what your sleep looks like every single night. And as that sleep increases, you are also able to increase that sleep window and make it a little bit longer. Number three, and we'll get into why I just do not believe this in a second, but we have sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene encourages you to keep your bedroom cool, dark, free of noise. It encourages you not to have coffee in the afternoons, avoid alcohol, stay consistent. Basically, be perfect and implement perfect rules in order to guarantee sleep. If you do all of these things correctly, sleep will come. Number four, we have cognitive restructuring. CBTI understands that you're probably having quite a lot of negative thoughts towards sleep and your bedroom, and it implies that we should acknowledge those thoughts and try and change them and replace them for positive ones. Not that easy, but we're going to get into that. And number 5, we have relaxation training. CBTI encourages you to implement different tools like breath work, maybe body scans, progressive muscle relaxation, things that are going to help you relax and calm down in order to prepare your body and maybe your brain for sleep. So that's mostly what CBTI is. Of course, you're also following a plan. You're implementing these things on a day-to-day basis. It also encourages you to keep a sleep log and to be kind of like really monitoring and making sure that you're following these rules very consistently. And eventually, if you do this long enough and if you do this correct enough, sleep is going to come to you. Okay. We know what CBTI is. Now let's talk about why it's probably not working. And again, this may work for some people, but if it's you and you're having difficulties with CBTI, this is probably why. Number 1, CBTI gets the definition of insomnia wrong. So it's even starting off wrong from the very first step. CBTI assumes that we are associating the bedroom with a place of wakefulness, meaning that we see our bedroom and we automatically associate that place as being a place where we are awake and not asleep. Let me tell you that insomnia goes a little bit deeper than that, okay? Insomnia is the misidentified, perceived threat of wakefulness, meaning that you have had a bad night, maybe you've had a second bad night, and from there you start associating, your nervous system starts internalizing that not sleeping is a problem. When we associate not sleeping as a problem, we are in our fight or flight response system. This is what makes us very awake. We are deploying cortisol and adrenaline into our body in order to fight off that thing that we have identified as harmful for us. This is why we can't sleep at night, because our body is actually trying to keep us awake in order to fight off wakefulness. Every time we emotionally react, we have thoughts around this is bad, this is wrong, we react badly to not sleeping, we're actually feeding into that cycle. And if you want to know a little bit more about what the cycle of insomnia actually is and how you can also heal from this nightmare, I am also linking my 30 minutes free masterclass below, which goes into all of this in a little bit more detail. Number 2, CBTI, because it gets the definition wrong, also implies that sleep can be controlled. We wouldn't be watching this video if we could control our sleep. Like, if you could control sleep, supplements, medication, CBTI, they'd all be working. And that is because if you are told, do this and sleep will come, sleep would have happened by now, right? Sleep doesn't happen like that. Sleep is a completely passive process that happens in the absence of effort, and it happens when our nervous system feels safe and calm. When we have identified not sleeping as a problem and we are stuck in our fight or flight, we are going to be in the opposite state of what we need to be in order for sleep to happen, okay? That also means that you can't implement certain behaviors like stimulus control, like sleep hygiene, like sleep restriction in order to make sleep happen. And that is because we are fundamentally missing and understanding a very important piece, which is we do not have a sleep problem. We have a fear problem. And CBTI only addresses sleep and not fear. And number 3, and probably the most important reason why CBTI doesn't work for you, is because it wasn't designed for you. CBTI is not for the perfectionists, the type A type of people, the high achievers. And that is because when you approach insomnia and insomnia recovery as a problem that needs to be solved, and you are used to doing everything perfectly and then it backfires, you're going to feel a sense of defeat. You're going to feel that you are broken. And these feelings and these thoughts are actually contributing to the cycle of insomnia. I say this every single time. It is the hardest, but also the most important step in insomnia recovery is this element of self-kindness and compassion. If you're a perfectionist and you're doing this perfectly and it's not working, CBTI encourages you to try harder, to keep going, and it doesn't actually give you the right resources and the right tools to recover from insomnia holistically. So naturally, you're going to feel broken. And the more broken you feel, the more self-criticism you're actually going to be, I guess, feeding back into your mind. And self-criticism increases hyperarousal. It makes you more awake, and it actually taps into your fight or flight mode, which is already the mode that we're in because we are fearful of wakefulness. So again, you are in the situation because the system is failing you and not because you are failing at it. Okay, this is the more exciting part of this video, which is clarity and understanding as to what you can do instead if you are stuck in this trap. Number one, educate yourself on what insomnia actually is. In my approach to insomnia recovery, the number one layer and the first step in insomnia recovery is education. I truly believe that it is going to be very difficult for you to recover from something that you do not understand. Okay, so you need to start by educating yourself on the cycle of the perceived threat, the cycle of insomnia. I have tons of videos on my channel that actually teach this. And also remember that you do not have a sleep problem, you have a fear problem, meaning that you don't need to do all of these things in order for sleep to happen. You need to actually reteach your mind and your body that it is safe enough for it to let go and allow sleep to happen. Number two, and the second layer in insomnia recovery, is befriending wakefulness. And this is where I'm going to encourage you to take back a little bit more of your freedom. Up until now, you've been doing so many things in order for sleep to come and sleep to happen. Maybe you're watching boring movies at night. You're avoiding blue light. You are reading a boring book. You are doing boring tasks, all because you think that doing something boring is going to make sleep happen. Well, that's not how it happens because sleep can't be controlled. Befriending wakefulness is the act of reclaiming your nights and remembering what is actually inside of your control. I'm sure we can all remember a time when we used to watch movies in the past before sleep was ever an issue. It was maybe even a horror movie and you still fell asleep on the couch. And that is because sleep happens in the absence of effort. Befriending wakefulness is that thing. It is reclaiming your time as your own. I know you wish you were asleep, but instead try and see this as extra time that you have been given. Befriending wakefulness is the act of reclaiming your evenings and doing something you genuinely enjoy in order to allow sleep to come to you. Number three, and the third layer in insomnia recovery, is to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I want to encourage you to forget about cognitive restructuring because you can't just change your thoughts and be positive and try and think beautiful and positive things. When we have a perceived threat, say we are fearful of not sleeping, your mind is going to automatically, because thoughts are automatic, again, also like sleep, cannot be controlled, your mind is automatically sending thoughts at you. It is trying to do this in order to protect you. And when you try and just change that thought, you're actually signaling back to your brain that you are not listening to the signals that it is sending you. It's easy for us to distract ourselves, to try and do something different, to try and push those thoughts away, when in reality, the more we listen to those thoughts and make space for them, the quicker they actually pass. So this is where I'm going to encourage you to get curious about your thoughts and emotions as opposed to trying to change them. And number four, and the hardest, but also the most important part of insomnia recovery, is to have more self-kindness and compassion towards yourself. You are not in the situation because you haven't tried hard enough, or because you're broken, or because you've done something wrong. You're in the situation because you have been given the wrong information and the wrong tools. If this were about trying hard enough, you wouldn't be in the situation to begin with. So stop kind of putting so much pressure on yourself and these unrealistic expectations. The kinder you are towards yourself, the easier this also gets, and the more you're actually moving away from a state of hyperarousal into a state of calm, which is the space that we need to be in order to allow sleep to happen. Anyway, that is all for today's video. I hope you have found this insightful and also comforting, and that you no longer feel so alone. If you have any other follow-up insomnia related or sleep related questions, please go ahead and drop those in the comment section below, and I promise to get back to you. Anyway, bye for now.